Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Economic Recession and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me once again on this Friday, July 17th, 2020. Looks like the markets closed down about 60 points today. Stocks were down based off Netflix as they disappointed today. Disappointing news, Netflix nosedive more than 6%, taking the low spot on the NASDAQ 100 and S&P 500. The late Thursday report showed that new subscriber growth had exceeded analysts' expectations, but the weaker than average earnings and guidance rattled investors. So, while we have this infection going on, while we have these stocks that are overvalued and overpriced, we also have news from CNBC.com that weekly jobless claims rise by more than 1 million for the 17th straight week. As you know, we get the jobs numbers every Thursday morning, and this is the 17th straight week, my friends, that we've had 1.3 million or more initial jobless claims. Okay, so this economy is on life support. It is dying. And this was more than expected, as people were saying. The propaganda coming from the White House and other places was saying that things was under control, that we were flattening the curve of this jobless growth curve. And unfortunately, it's only growing. Okay, it peaked. Initial claims have risen by more than 51 million since late March, when it peaked at 6.86 million. Last week also marked the 15th straight weekly decline in initial claims. Continuing claims, which refer to those who are getting benefits now for 2 straight weeks, totaled 17.33 million for the week of July the 4th. Okay. Now, this reflects a drop of 422,000 from the previous report. But still, it's clear that there's long-term damages beginning to amount, with permanent layoffs beginning to climb. As a matter of fact, United Airlines said that they may have to shed over 25,000 jobs. American Airlines and Delta have followed suit, saying that they may cut jobs starting in September. And also, I guess some of the good news, if somebody want to say it's good news, is that retail sales jumped up more than expected in the month of June. Okay, U.S. retail sales increased to better than expected 7.5% in June. Okay, that was on top of an 18.2% jump in May, which is the biggest gain since the government started tracking the series in 1992. But my friends, you can guess why there was a jump in May and June. Okay, it's because of the stimulus, the federal stimulus check, the $1,200 plus the $600 given the unemployment benefits, and the $500 given to children. Okay, so that's why those numbers have jumped in May and June. It's because the stimulus. But now we're coming to that deadline, that all important July the 31st deadline, when the PPP loans run out, when the stimulus $600 extra unemployment benefits run out, and there's no talk of renewing that. And as a matter of fact, there's no guarantee of a second stimulus check as previously thought, because we have spent so much money on this first phase stimulus package that there may not be no more money left to go around. And that's when things could get really, really interesting. Now, U.S. home sales construction jumped 17.3% in June also. But who's buying these homes? Applications for permits, the news media, CNBC and MSNBC reports, have been growing. Okay, they rose 2.1%. But with the mortgage rates down around 2.9%, construction is growing, but nobody's buying. Homes have been on the market for more than 180 days or more in cities such as San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, Florida, Georgia, you name it. Okay, so applications for building permits, although it's a good indication of future activity, it rose to 1.24 million units. They're not selling because they said that in the article. However, it's unclear whether the rebound is sustainable, as infections have spiked, especially in the South, where businesses have reopened, and we all seen how that went. And people have been increasingly venturing outside of their homes. So this is the oxymoron we have. We have the lowest mortgage rates in 50 years, but we also have people who cannot afford to get a loan either by credit worthiness or by the amount of debt they have, or simply the price is out of the starting housing price is out of the reach of most people. Okay, you're looking at new home starts prices averaging $280,000 to $300,000 for a single family home, and that's just out of the reach for an American when the average American makes $35,000 or less per year, single family home. Okay, so as we continue to see things get bad, we must ask ourselves the following questions as we head toward that all-important July the 31st deadline. Is the Federal Reserve committed to unlimited stimulus? Okay. Number two, if they are committed to unlimited stimulus, that means that for us, the economy on Main Street is going to be absolutely horrible. Okay. There will be no recovery. I think most experts and people in the world agree that there will be no V-shaped recovery, not even a W-shaped recovery or whatever other letter that you want to come back, because jobs have been decimated. We could be looking at, before the election, which is only, 4.5 months away, if we lose 1 million jobs like this every week, guess how many jobs that is? You do the math. Let's do the math today, okay? So we have 1.3 million jobs, right, lost every week so far for the 17th straight week. So I'm going to take it out. 1.3 times, let's say we have 16 weeks before the election, 16 or 17 weeks, okay? That's 21 million jobs lost. So that's on top of the 40 million or 50 million jobs that they say that the media says that we've already lost. So we could be looking at, just this year, 70 million people out of work, okay? Now that's out of a total workforce of maybe 140 million people, and I'm being generous here in America, that's able and willing to work. So 140 minus 70 million people out of work. That leaves you with 70 million people that may be working at the end of this year. So this is depression level numbers, okay? This is why I say you must be prepared. I'm just doing the math, okay? And this we know the numbers have been doctored up. So we could already be at 70 million unemployed, but I'm being fair. I'm using the numbers that they gave us with these reports, okay? So can you imagine the evictions in the housing market, which is going down? Like I told you, the housing market will be dropping in September. Okay, because July 31st is when those payments end, and that's when the forbearance ends on rent moratoriums and the forbearance on the mortgage loans end. So they'll give you a grace month, August. But September the 1st, that's when things are going to be going down. And then October, I predict that's when the crash of this Wall Street economy is going to happen. Okay, and what I mean by the crash is, the crash is going to affect not just the housing sector, but it's going to affect retail. It's going to affect the credit freeze. Credit will be frozen toward the end of this year, meaning that your credit cards and everything like that. So that's why you need to keep cash on hand, okay? Because cash is going to be king. It's going to have value because you're not going to be able to go to your bank. You've seen the long lines. Go to the bank now. When you go to these Bank of America, Chase Bank, or whatever bank you use, you see the long lines now. And it's not just because of social distancing, because they are having a liquidity problem, okay? A coin shortage. They say now you go to the supermarket and the self-checkout, they don't want you to use cash. They want you to use your card, okay? The problem is the banks have a liquidity problem. Individuals have a liquidity problem because cash is scarce, okay? People are getting tapped out. So start keeping some cash. Start buying supplies, okay? You're going to need canned foods. Canned foods are running short. There's a food shortage going on in a lot of these stores for canned soups, pastas, tuna, fish, sardines, a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Start stacking up now. I just started preparing 2 years ago, and I still, every day I find something new that I may need, okay? Start getting candles. Start getting solar-powered stuff, okay? Because if we get another major event before the election or anything like that happens, and I'm thinking the two major events I would be on the lookout for in the next 3 months is this right here. Either some kind of power outage that may not last the whole time, but we may have brownouts during the day, because of coronavirus. People are scared to go to work in these power plants and things of that nature, okay? So be prepared for that. How are you going to cook? Get a portable folding stove or a camping stove, okay? And also I will be prepared for some type of attack, okay? This could be a cyber attack on the grid, or it could be a cyber attack on the banks, okay? So meaning that you may not be able to get your money out the bank, or you may be limited to withdrawals, maybe $200 a day or $100 a day, okay? That's already starting to happen now. So be prepared for those two events to happen, my friend and my friends, in the next 3 months. So get things. If you're not used to living without power for more than 24 hours, then start thinking about what you may need. Get those generators now, either solar powered or gas powered. Get those solar powered lights. Get some way of communication with your family, either walkie talkies or ham radio, stuff that's not dependent on the grid, because this thing may go down before the the all important event, the election in November. Okay, so those are two black swan events that you want to look out for. I'm telling you. Now, in regards to this infection, we know that this thing is going to take at least 2 to 3 years to recover from that, maybe even 5 years, okay, because of it is a real thing. I'm not saying it's a hoax or anything like that, okay, it is real, but it's going to be used to usher in a lot more things than we had normally anticipated here, okay? So those are my two predictions, but stay prepared. Get prepared. If you'd like to see anything else discussed on this channel, please leave comments below and I will get to them. Thank you very much. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. And I'm praying for you as well.